Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Quake Pro League, where we are slotted in for another bust-up of a game, this time with dramis taking on Effortless. A little bit more of a classical one, Harry. We've seen this in the past. We know how it goes. Effortless, however, has been trying to prove a point that he's breaking away from his norm. He's been getting a couple of good results under his belt. He's been a little bit more vocal on Twitter. I think he's in there for the long run now, Harry. It seems like he's really keen to try and take some wins.
Yeah, he seems to be keen on showing that progression as well. I think after the Stage 2 finals, he was like, right, I've had enough. I'm not going to be one of those, being one of those relegation battles or try and
Mm.
fight his way out. He wants to be the top half of the group at least to try and make sure he solidify himself as one of the top players in the NA scene. But dramis did that last stage. This stage, it's been a completely different story for him. He's near the bottom of the table with Zeneku as well. So this is, I would say, a must win for both of these players. Because funny enough, both of them are almost in that battle of relegation as well, considering the situations they're in. And it's funny how Effortless said he doesn't want to be in this spot again. Sadly, he is, but doesn't take away the fact that he has improved a lot. He's a lot more aggressive. His gun skill has improved a lot more, and it's actually complemented it further compared to his movement. dramis still playing very defensive, very passive from what we've seen earlier on, but this time around, he needs to make a bit more decisive ways on how he wants to try and approach certain situations. But so far for these two, it is definitely a must win.
Oh, it is. It is for both of them. I think more so, obviously, for dramis at this point, because there is a chance that he can get himself still into a better position. Whereas for Effortless, as we said, unfortunately, it does seem like he is going to have to try and fight for survival going into stage 4 in the finals of stage 3 later on down the line. But for dramis, there's still a whole lot more to prove. Now, let's actually get into the veto for this one then and see if there's any key takeaways in there that might give us a better idea of how this game will go. Because it seems like we're starting this off on ruins.
Yeah, Ruins to start off with. Awoken will be next, but Vale, when it goes to map 3, I hope it is going to be 1 or 2, just due to the fact that both of these players are very good on Vale, but Effortless is chosen it anyway, which is probably why, the Molten Falls was banned, which is completely understandable. But then again, Blood Covenant, Effortless knew exactly what dramis is like. He is such a pain in the backside to try and frag on that map. Even though he's very defensive, he just makes such great executed decisions. He knows exactly where and when to actually make those passive aggressive kind of plays and those situational kind of plays. But even over the champion picks, you said it yourself with the ruins, Sorlag versus Slash, that is going to be an extremely fast way to start the series. And it will be the Nyx versus Athena. Another quick one, but Effortless has decided to, try and second guess himself and go for the Nyx in case he does get put into a bad spot. So we'll have to see how that comes up. And another kill again. We've seen kill a couple of times on Vale, slowly becoming, I wouldn't say the meta, but more of a standard pick at this moment in time. But Effortless with the scale, we'll have to see how he does against him.
It is curious. For Vale, it's interesting because obviously those two picks, I'd say, are most common on that map, right? Both of them, the only times we do tend to really see them are on there because it very much is a close quarters map. The lines of sight are quite different from anything else we really have in the map pool. It's a bit of a blip, and I think those two do fit quite nicely into there. So that should be quite a fun one to round out the series. Definitely a lot more of the unknown. Starting it off over on Ruins, though, with Sorlag taking on Slash. This is going to be where we start our series here. Again, as you said, Harry, a lot of high speed, fast octane from both of them. dramis thrives on those sort of champions. I'd say, he definitely is one of those faster, more aggressive style of players. Coming from a background like yours, Harry, he loved a bit of Halo in the past. We'll see if that's going to be helping him out today.
It was some of those traits from that game in particular he kind of passed to Quake, and I just noticed it like it was night and day. It was hilarious when I saw it. I even spoke to him about it briefly, and I said, there's some traits from a previous title you've brought to Quake. You should probably not do some of these things here and there, but we'll be going into map number 1, and it will be the Slash pick through dramis. We know how great he is with Slash. I'm glad he hasn't chosen Slash on Awoken this time round, but it is a perfect pick for Ruins, and we'll have to see what he can do against a stocky Sorlag as the first fight will come into play. Will he be able to finish him off? Misses that sex's last rocket, but managed to do it cleanly as dramis gets that first frag on the board.
Goodness, that is a hell of a way to start this off. miss. Seconds in, and dramis is playing like an absolute lunatic. Because right now, he's looking to already get himself a second frag, but Effortless barely, and I mean barely, clutches that one away, as he'll snatch it and put them back on a 1-1 split. Also gets the heavy, but the tri-bolt is what the key piece of the puzzle was there. I'm pretty sure that was all 3 shots landing directly onto dramis. That was huge.
Yeah, dramis with his LG. His LG looked very stiff and he didn't really move it about that much, but that rocket's going to look very good. He's just going to keep it at bay, but surely, yeah, dramis has been taken down. He put himself in a bit of a bad spot. There wasn't really too much else he could have done, and maybe try and bait something out to try and push out, but no, Effortless was ready and waiting, and we know how aggressive Effortless can be. It's just all over him, but a nice rail there. Second one, will he get the third? No, he won't. That was such an important frag there, but he's going to try and go for the Mega. 21 HP. Surely dramis will clean him up. Yes, he will. And this is going to be a very close affair here. 3-2 now in favour of Effortless, and it's just completely action-packed as he goes for the first rail, but decided to leave him be for the time being.
This one actually could provide us a whole lot if it carries on in this manner. This is a great way to kick this off so far. dramis with an LG. Very nicely played. Quite precise to be able to cut his way through that giant lizard with relative ease. Tying it up again. 6 frags on the board. 3-3 on the split. Lots of damage coming through, though, but dramis is still being able to pack a punch as he fights on tooth and nail. The battle of the LG, who's going to be better? And it's dramis to win himself another encounter.
dramis now has got the heavy, just needs to get the health orbs to kind of help himself out a little bit further. Not fully back to his default stack, but it will do for the time being. This man's getting a nice rocket off, but he's going to go in for the chase with the LG. Gets the second one. Will he go for the third? It's going to be so close as he's only on 4 HP. Will he get this rail? Yes, he will. Fantastic shot there from dramis.
That was beautiful movement, and also just a good mechanical understanding there. That was very nicely done. Quite a cheeky frag to be able to pull out, but also one that is really going to have a lot of impact on the course of the game. It now means that he can get himself back into a position to build up the stack a little bit, because otherwise he would have been left in a horrible spot in terms of control. And obviously being on a light champion is never ideal, as he starts to move his way around, drops the plasma trowel to deny a potential push, or the chase coming his way from Effortless. And he is really using that speed to his full advantage.
Effortless getting chipped away more and more. Even though he does pick up the heavy anyway, dramis does get the mega for himself. The problem is, dramis with that rail is just absolutely key and on par with it. And it's just barely missing any shots. As now he's trying to predict where he may come next, but Effortless playing a little bit more passive this time. And I just feel like for Effortless, it's more his mentality. How frustrated is he going to be with dramis just constantly playing on the passive with the movement and just trying to hear him out? It's going to be a real struggle here. So I want to see how Effortless manages to pin down dramis and take him down. But will he though? That's another question.
Ooh, the near adjustment there on the railgun. Not quite allowing dramis to be able to get that shot off. That is going to be rather unfortunate for him. Pushes back over towards the heavy room though, and fighting around the corners of it. Waiting for the spawn to come up. It's going to be up in a second. He grabs it to keep himself alive. Goes for the peek round the corner and slaps Effortless down once again into another raid. Punishing. Risky stuff with an LG from close range like that. He couldn't get his rockets out in time to be able to blow his way through that lizard and will fall once more. Still, 2 frag disparity between them both.
That's right, 2 frags between both of these players and 5 minutes left on the clock. It sounds like a lot of time, but when you're playing against a Slash, it could feel like not long at all. As it will be cat and mouse throughout most of this, so Effortless needs to make sure that every rail shot he actually uses is on point, but that's not the best of starts as he misses the first one, but he's going to push him with the rockets anyway. But dramis has been quite aggressive compared to what I expected before, but he's kind of faking Effortless out here and there, as Effortless hasn't got really that much of a big stack. He's available, but not anymore, but he will be again. He's only on 40 HP. dramis, will he be looking for that frag? It looks like he won't be for the time being. Effortless needs to seriously be careful.
Getting the spit out as he fires off the rocket. Big connection coming across. dramis with the rocket will be able to blow him clean out though. And that's now 7-4. Railgun connections looking damn dastardly as well. Gets in close proximity, so favors the rockets more. Effortless is just consistently flicking, waggling with that LG to try and stop the push from dramis. And he does do so. Forcing him to step north, back over towards the Mega. Oh, once he got that rocket down, I thought maybe there was potential for dramis, but he was just too low too quickly. And Effortless snatches away that frag.
Yeah, well, I think that rocket would have hit. Wouldn't have done maximum damage, but would have done enough to at least be a bit of a pain in the backside. But now Effortless just waiting for the heavy for the time being. He knows that he can't delay it any further, as he's only got 3 minutes left on the clock. 2 frags between them, both of them. dramis with a great rail. He's trying to clean them up a little bit more, but Effortless has decided to get away. He's still got 3 minutes, still got enough time to try and make something of this. But he can't take too much time. As dramis, we know how easy it is for him to get away, especially with the slash and just his movement in general. He's only on 56 HP, but dramis is in a good spot here, as he's trying to find out exactly what he's up to. As Effortless gets to heavy, gets to health, and now is ready to try and at least make something of this. It needs to hit the second rail, needs to get something going here, but small amount of damage from the rocket. Help only slightly to kind of chip it a little bit more. But Effortless now, he's running out of time. He needs to get something going here.
Yeah, it needs to be soon. Because he really is, as you said, leaving himself on a raft without an oar. It's not ideal. Tries to commit with the LG and does at least find that frag. Now it's only 1 frag difference between them. If he could chain these together, it would be huge. But dramis goes whizzing by as he hits hyperspeed, turning the corner there. Another tag with a railgun, though, is good to try and stagger him and slow this down. Slightly Effortless, beginning to commit as he starts to move himself in, pushing up quite aggressively. Instead, deviates from the plan momentarily. Back over towards the heavy. The rocket is beautiful, and the flick down with the rail is the showstopper he desired.
That was a disgusting combo there from Effortless. I said earlier, it's one of... As long as his rail's on point and he catches him off guard, he did both at the exact same time and managed to tie things up. A huge stack, and dramis is in serious trouble. He's got some serious amount of chipping to do. Managed to get 1, he gets 2. He needs to get at least 2 more, at least 1 on the combo kill to at least try and get something. But he's decided not to take the fight. He's going to back off for the time being. But Effortless is all over him. That was a lovely LG as he was coming down, but dramis is in such huge trouble. A lovely rail there from him to at least gain the lead. But needs to try and get some of that health back, as he doesn't want to get into another engagement, as he just barely manages to get away from the skin of his teeth.
Crazy stuff there. Absolutely miraculous. He's been able to pull him through in such a fashion. dramis as well, turning the corner quite rapidly to be able to create some space between him and Effortless. Worrying times now, as there's still a possibility that this could be snatched away from him, or potentially forced at the very least to a sudden death. The rocket connection will whittle away some of the HP from Effortless, but he takes the heavy, and it's the wrong decision to be made from dramis. Luckily, the plasma trail will save his bacon for a few more seconds, allowing him to get back over towards the Mega. For Harry, it could be the route he's taken that's just throwing a massive spanner in the works. He barely gets there in time, but the rockets have kept him in the game. And now with 10 seconds left, it's the difference of will Effortless find this frag, or will dramis take this map in the series? It seems like it's going to be the latter, and dramis will be able to clutch it out on the opener.
Oh my word. You know what? I think we all knew, even the viewers at home knew, it was going to come to that point in time where Effortless will be doing the chase at some stage. But then again, dramis did a lot of chip damage. Look at that. 1,200 more damage in comparison to what Effortless was doing, and is doing all the right things at the right times. It was just Effortless wasn't really given many opportunities, and when he did, he had to literally go all out and be absolutely spot on with his aim and everything that needs to be done, and he did. But Effortless, sadly for him, will lose that first map. But dramis deserved that more than anything. He always did everything perfectly at the right time, and it shows that Slash is still one of the top picks for Ruins.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It worked out fantastically for him. The additional speed benefit obviously was quite a nice factor. Good play around just with the hero in general, and some of the shots he hit were absolutely sickening. So a lovely way to start the series for Drama, showing that he's just a few smidgens above Effortless on that opener. Now, coming into Awoken, though, this is where, again, it gets a little bit spicy. Another light-on-light crime. We very rarely see these, but today we've had a whole bunch of them, which is quite exciting. Obviously, normally they are a little bit rarer. Nyx versus Athena. Athena on dramis. Historically, as a champion pick, he's quite proficient with her. He is very good at playing around her and using her ability to a high level, again, for aggression and for defense. But the question is, on Awoken, how much is she going to be beneficial, and how much more will it be useful to instead have that ghost walk on the Nyx?
Yeah, it's a very difficult decision as to say what could be better. You know, Athena with the rotation of the items, that's a huge one, especially with the heavy to the mega. That's one which is going to be, that depends on the timings exactly. As long as it's about 4 seconds apart, whoever gets the heavy first should be fine. But even with the Nyx, at least now and again, you'll get your second chances to try and bail out from a bad situation, or maybe even just stop it before it even happens. It does occur quite often. But for Dramisto, you know, he needs to win more than Effortless does. Effortless has been doing very well over the past few weeks in certain matchups, but Dramis has been falling behind massively, been doing almost as bad as Zeneca. I think he's only one place above him, I believe. And this is more of a must-win for him. But it's for both of them at the end of the day. But we'll have to see what they can do, because the points right now at this moment in time is super close, as we will head in to map number 1 to see if Dramis can at least win this series or if Effortless can come back.
Let's see how it's going to go here then. Awoken. Dramis leading currently after getting the victory on Sarnath. What can he have going for himself here? Instantly in with the railgun in hand as he starts to reposition towards the middle of the map. That grappling hook obviously providing with a lot of mobility to traverse the geometry of the map. But right now, he's not looking to use the speed. Instead, he's slowing down the tempo, listening out for those audio cues and waiting to see what the call is going to be from Effortless before he makes his first strike. Gets himself the heavy. Quick dash back over towards the mega, but he's fumbled, Harry. That blunder could cost him greatly.
Effortless should have taken him down there. I'm surprised Dramis even got away with his life. They both ended up with similar stacks, and Dramis was still looking for that last rail, but surely he's going to be taken down here. 2 HP. What? 2 HP in a dream, but sadly it wasn't to be the case, as he's got a little bit of his stack back, but Effortless is still after him here. That's what's still going on with Dramis. Must get one. Will he get a second one? Surely it can't be, but he's going to take the risk, but he does burn the heavy. That's the only thing we can say about that. But Effortless is still very weak, as Dramis is tempted to go for the charge, but has decided to treat it like a stalemate once more. But Effortless comes from behind. Dramis didn't even realise, and he is pulled back to try and see what he can do from here.
That is just sheer madness that it has gone down in that manner. Surely he should have fallen. Instead, he's been able to get away. It's pretty damn miraculous that it's worked out like that. Effortless, again, looking to try and creep round and track him down. Rocket coming through, tag him in the back. Effortless, he does have the 1 frag lead, but he's teetering on a knife's edge here. It could so easily come crashing down around him. Already 2 minutes into the game, Dramis, you've got to hit these rails. The near misses are going to cost you greatly. And that's, again, another frag served up to Big Effortless.
Some of the rails for Dramis have been given to him on a plate, but it's weird to say that he's been doing better with the tighter angles, the harder angles, you could say. Effortless knows exactly where he is. It's the matter of what Dramis can do, but there's nothing he can do. Look at the stack difference. It's huge. And Dramis surely is going to be taken down here as he manages to get away just barely, but how long for? Effortless is on his tail and again barely survives. And I don't know how Effortless took so much damage in that process. Dramis is doing the right things, but Effortless again. Another filthy rail.
Launching himself around with those grappling hooks, trying to reposition proficiently. Effortless, firing out the warning shots with a rail, hoping to connect across, but not quite being able to get them out. 3 minutes to pass into the game here now. Good use of the rockets. A smart play to deny there as well. Go straight through the portal. It does come out right behind dramis. That'll be another frag found. His quick switching right now is what is really projecting him further and further ahead. The weapon prioritization is on point. Meanwhile, dramis looking a little bit like a lost child in a supermarket, Harry. Doesn't quite know where he is.
Yeah, it does seem to be the case. His awareness isn't as strong as what it once was. But now he's just teetering over the knife edge here. He cannot let Effortless have any more frags and let him get away with this, especially with dramis' style. As they both missed the first rail.
Now you see me, now you don't.
And will be ghost walking for the time being, just to not give him any info on him pushing for that mega. But he's left the mega up and he's delayed it enough to keep dramis guessing. Even though it's only 3 or 4 seconds, it could be enough to be an absolute game changer. But he's going to go in for the shotgun as he has no rocket ammo left. But has decided to fall back. I feel like dramis is getting the better of his engagements, but it's more the fact that he just hasn't got the stack to back it up.
That is a big point. dramis getting that kill off as well with the LG, taking down Effortless, finally getting a frag on the board, but he is substantially lower. Luckily enough, his warpath took him right towards the mega. He got his health back, and now he's ready to brawl once more. And he's going to need to. 5 minutes remain on the clock on this one. And he still needs 3 more kills. Rockets coming down, gets contact, takes a lot of damage already. Starts to get that health stripped clean off him. The Ghost Walk provides Effortless with a shrouded opportunity to strike. Oh, but it won't matter as he reveals himself. dramis goes absolutely beastly. The connections were beautiful, and that frag is incredible.
Literally was teetering on his head as he was coming through the telly. But it doesn't matter now. It's coming straight towards him. Will he be able to get the second? No, he doesn't. But sure he's going to be taken down here. He's on 33 HP. And Effortless does barely manage to take him down there. He's only on a slim of health, so dramis could potentially clean him up if he wants to. But will he go for it, though? This is another question. He hasn't really got the weaponry in his arsenal to push up. So he decided to back up for the time being and stock up on whatever he needs. He's got the light, he's got the rockets, but Effortless knows he's giving him that chance to do whatever he needs to do. So Effortless is waiting patiently. dramis has the stack he finally needs. He has had the better advantages in the bouts, but just not had the stack. But now he's finally got it and can take up on his opportunities. But when you hear rockets like those, it's going to be extremely difficult, but fakes it out, decides to go for the push. He's going to take the mega from him? Yes, he will. And Effortless is just trying to survive. A couple of missed rails by dramis. Another one missed. Surely he's going to hit this one. No, it goes for the rocket anyway, but at least he cleans up his act. But you're right, though, Jack. He's missed quite a few, and he can't afford to miss anymore.
It's too dangerous a position to be in. dramis aggressively, though, going for that frag with the grapple. Goodness, that was beautifully executed. He finds that kill. Now only one between them. That's all that stands in their way. Trying to use the grapple to be able to snatch away the mega. It won't work, but it won't matter as he uses his sheer brawn to overthrow Effortless into that firefight. And again, pushes it back into a position where it's now tied up. 5 apiece. 7 minutes have passed. dramis, look at the use of that grapple. That was beautiful, Harry. Swinging into action as he starts to fight against crime here.
It's like he's psychic and he can hear us right now. We've told him to sort his act out a bit and he has done. He's hitting almost every rail now compared to what we've seen before. His combo kills have been remarkable, as good as what Effortless was earlier. But he decides to be very aggressive here with the LG. Trying to bait him out to go for the telly. Will he, though? That's the question. But he's trying to bait out heavy at the same time. But there's no way he can. He's on 25 HP. He's going to try and stack up a little bit more. But Effortless knows exactly where he is. Deciding to drop down. Will he be able to actually catch him off guard? He does a little bit. But surely he can't take any more risks here. As Effortless is back down for now. With the top mid control. Dramis just barely missed that round. If he hit him, he might have got another frag on the board. And both these players are just missing rail after rail now. And it's only 2 minutes left remaining now as Dramis either needs to try and stay alive for the time being and play that cat and mouse game, or Effortless really plays a lot more aggressively than what he currently is at this moment.
Yeah, there needs to be some changes, and this is quite awkward. Stuck on the map geometry and the bounce pad. Effortless, you can see, a little bit frustrated off the back of that one, as well as he will go down. Comes flying round the corner again, looking to try and play with that anger, but it hasn't helped him. It's caused him to fall in that firefight, and Dramis, he's potentially secured himself the map victory here, Harry.
I think he has at this point, yeah. Dramis has got the movement speed to get away whenever he needs to, but if he loses here and loses a frag, then maybe he could be okay. He could try and do what he can, but he's just literally playing ring around the rosy as Effortless cleans him up. But can he get these next 2 frags? It's going to be difficult because Dramis is very good with his defensive style. But now with the Mega, you can see Dramis is trying to contest the items, but I don't think it's going to happen. As Effortless will need to play the same game as he did in map number 1. Dramis is so weak, and that was a beautiful rail again from Effortless.
My goodness. This is absolutely ridiculous. Now, at this point, there's 1 frag between them both. And much like the original Battle Royale game of musical chairs, Harry, only 1 man could be standing at the end of this one. And I feel like Effortless is trying to prove that it can be him. He's on the chase. He needs to find another frag still, though. He's got himself so far back into the game, but he's not out of the woods just yet. And unfortunately, time is ticking away. A few seconds remain. He has to chase. In the next 4 seconds, he needs this frag, but he's missing the rails. And he knows it's over. Stops to type sigh. Has a bit of a sigh in real life as well, most likely. And that one goes the way of Dramis.
Same thing, different map. Typical, isn't it? You know, it's always... But the thing is, though, Dramis is the master of ring around the rosy. It's not someone you want to go back and forth in a circle in a duel, is it? It's just absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, Dramis again showing why he is one of the best defensive players in the North American scene. Knows when to control it. But the thing is, though, what people don't know about Dramis is his style switching. He adapts very well. You saw earlier that, okay, yeah, sure, he had a lot of missed rails, but he corrected that. And it's very easy to keep that mentality where, oh, I'm missing my shots. Oh, I should be doing this. But some people may actually change their map positioning just because of how bad their rails are. But instead, he manages to keep it going, manages to hit his shots. But this is going to be a doozy because both players do like this map. But it's a matter of who's going to come out on top. And the way Dramis is playing right now, Effortless needs to show just a little bit more of that consistency and try and be one to keep that lead.
It's also the interesting matter of, like, these are quite unorthodox champions to play at the best of times, right? And now you've got both of them on a map like Vale. It's only going to be an absolute wacky affair. That's the best way to sum it up. Like, this one is going to be a toughie for either side. There's going to be a lot of nades flying all over the place. There is going to be ball rushes coming out left, right, and center. The close range, really awkward line of sight angles are going to have a field day on this. I think we're just going to see a bust up continuously towards the Mega as well. Just the way that bit of the map's designed for both of these champs, Harry, it's going to be blood everywhere.
It will be. For Dramis, though, it's hard to say, like, because Scalebearer is very good at his ball rush, especially on maps like this. It's all close quarters. It's not really much open space. It's very easy for him to initiate when he needs to. But then again, same with Kill with his active ability. It's the fact that he can keep him at bay with the pineapples all the time and when he needs to. And that's the real issue with him. It's the fact that both these players it suits more to their style. So with Kill, he can play defensively and literally throw the pineapples out whenever he needs to for additional damage or just to scare him off and put a little bit of unnecessary pressure on. But with the Scalebearer, he needs that for the aggression to try and keep up with what Dramis is doing, because it can be a little bit of a pain in the backside. So both these champions do suit both their styles. It's just a matter of who gets that first frag on the board and what style Dramis will play once that happens.
Well, We'll find out when we get into it, as it seems like we're ready to get underway with the bookend of this series here on Vale. Dramis, of course, on the keel. Effortless will be your scale bearer. And we're kicking it off as already there is pineapples flying all over the shop. Dramis with a rocket, close range, close quarters, and a close call as he nets himself the opening frag of the round.
I felt like Effortless with the bull rush. At least it doesn't take us a lot more damage, but it didn't seem to be the case. As Dramis now still needs to heal up a little bit, which he has done finally. Took a little bit of time, but a lovely LG from Effortless. He's trying to catch him off. Yes, he does. Cleans things up, equalises the scoreline already, and gets to heavy just to make matters worse.
Here come the fireworks.
Railgun connecting as well, doing a nice amount of chip damage from a distance. Effortless going for these little minute flick shots. Tries to tickle him down with the lightning gun, but can't quite secure it. Instead, backs off and begins to reposition. Starts to dive around the corners, fast and ferocious. That pineapple, luckily, didn't kill him, as it did detonate right behind him. He's only got 62 HP to play with, and he has been slain. The rocket from Dramis. Goodness.
I don't think Dramis even expected that. That was a disgusting rocket. It was more just to at least delay another second or two from getting the mega, but managed to get him anyway. It was absolutely beautiful. But now the rail comes in. Dramis decides not to go for the frag and decides to sit back for now, but his LG is looking very good. Just barely misses that rail, and he's only on 26 HP. He needs to hit these shots. He doesn't, as Effortless will instead. And now... And to be fair, his stack isn't too bad, and he's got the mega just to make matters worse. You can tell he's kind of tempted to hover around the rocket area just to try and bait it out, because you know that most of these players will be going for it straight away, or near enough straight away. Effortless is really curious to why he hasn't pushed for it yet, and he has done. So will he be able to survive? Yes, he will, and Dramis goes down again and equalised once more to take things 3-all.
Fire in the hole.
Ooh, Dramis with a drop down with a super shotgun. We'll be able to punish there. It's a nice connection to find. Starts to make his move now to at least rebuild his stacks.
Here come the fireworks.
Grabs whatever he can with the light armors going into his back pocket. That will be the heavy picked up as well, using the pineapples, essentially just the scouting tools. Back into combat once again, though. The plasma whizzing by, starting to slap him up a little bit as he is forced to back up and try and reposition. 3 minutes have gone by, and there's only one frag between them both. Dramis with a rail, hoping to get a connection off, but he's barely missing these, Harry.
Missing him by the skin of his teeth, but been caught off guard there, and the LG was looking good for Effortless, but Dramis is just trying to do whatever he can. Managed to get one, but doesn't get the second. Didn't have time to get the second shot off anyway. He should have just barely been able to survive, and Effortless has got his back to a healthy stack. But Effortless again, waiting around that rocket area, just trying to bait him out, trying to let him know exactly what he's doing and what he's up to, and to say to him that this is my area and you will not be going for the rockets anytime soon. For now, though, he's just trying and see if he can get behind him. The flanks don't come through, but at least Dramis will get the rocket bits he's so desperately needed. As I say that, Effortless has the heavy, perfect opportunity now to try and push in if he can. Goes for the bull rush, but will he be able to get him? No, he won't, but at least managed to take some damage. And Dramis is just trying to at least rail him again, which he does. But both these players, look at their stacks. Dramis, Effortless, both of these players will need to build up once more in a stack and then fight again soon.
Effortless. Really trying to scrimp through to be able to find that frag, but it's not meant to be. He does go down. Finished off by Dramis. Unfortunately, the rocket jump not working out too nicely for him there, Harry. That isn't going to be a free mega. Instead, it might be a free death. No! The clutch play from Dramis. Oh, that is absolutely filthy. Not only has he got the frag, he's got the mega as well and kept on trucking. This is ridiculous.
You saw Effortless there saying classic, which is pretty much means, yeah, typical, always happens.
Yeah.
Quite a common thing, but it's just one of those situations. But as I'm saying, that Effortless got a couple of nice rails there.
5-minute warning.
And dramis is just waiting for him, just trying to bait him out. But the ball rush comes in, doesn't do anything for him, but he needs to get this rail. But he's going to bait out the Mega. Will he have to bait out enough? Yes, he does. Beautiful rail there from dramis once more.
Just sheer madness. Dramis firing out the pineapples as he just starts to make his move once more. Aggression is going to be key here. Turns the corner again, gets back into combat. Lovely little Kurt angle being held as he will fire off that rail and do a ton of damage back on towards Effortless. Grabs himself the Mega, and now primed and ready for combat, will dive in. He is so precise with this railgun at the minute. He's just doing so much damage 24/7, and the ball rush just takes Effortless even quicker into his death there as he charges a rocket head on.
And you gotta love what dramis did there. He faked out that he rocket jumped when he actually didn't. But then in the end, Effortless realised he did. It was just the fact that he rocket jumped up, stood still for a second, made him think twice. But then again, Effortless didn't. I'm not sure if he had the rockets at the time to just double check. But now though, dramis still with a reasonable stack. But if I was playing against dramis and there's a 5 frag difference, it would be extremely difficult. And it looks like Effortless may have disconnected or may have just raged. We're not really too sure, but you could see he was clearly not too happy. And, you know, when there's a 5 frag apart, especially playing against someone like dramis on Vale, it is extremely difficult. But I think dramis is just waiting to make sure that it is just maybe it is just a disconnect, or maybe Effortless just wasn't too happy. We'll definitely give you an update very soon, but from what we've seen there with a 5 frag lead, Effortless would be struggling quite a lot considering dramis' stack.
Fire in the hole.
Yeah, you would imagine that would be the case. Obviously, this game was pretty deep and pretty far gone at this point. dramis look a little bit confused about the current situation, Harry. Obviously, just trying to figure out what on earth has gone on.
Maybe he's practicing his ring around the rosy.
He could have been. You did say he was quite proficient at it.
He is, yeah, a master.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, it was one of the great many school games that you could get out there. They'll bring around the rosies. There was also the classic game of Conkers, Harry. Duck, Duck, Goose, another fan favourite. See, I was pretty damn good at Conkers, me. Because there was many different strategies, of course, that you could incorporate into your Conkers, your Conkers gameplay, where some people would cook their Conkers so that they would do more damage. Yeah, see, there was loads of different strats. Some people would freeze them so they'd be harder on impact. There was many different things that you could do to try and improve your Conker prowess on the playground.
dramis clearly froze, cooked, and put it in vinegar, didn't he? He was one of them who just used every strategy in the book. But
he's done them all.
He has done, yeah. He's the sort of guy who would, but yeah, you know, back to the match anyway. 3-0. It was nice and clean. You know, I would say nice and clean, but he managed to at least close each and every single one out. You know, I think it was 8-7 in the second map. The first map was also 1 frag. It was cat and mouse. It was basically the same situation. They were both in the first 2 maps. But you saw there, when you're playing against someone who's got a very strong defensive style, that's where your mentality does come into play. The angrier you get, the more mistakes you're going to make. The more mistakes you're going to make, the more the frag lead is going to escalate. And you've got to have a real calm attitude towards what rotations and flanks you're going to have. You have to play a lot more methodical. And Rafa's a prime example of it. It doesn't matter what style he comes up against. He knows and plans out exactly what he wants to do with which champion on which map, how and why, and when he's actually going to try and execute it. But with dramis, so let's be real, it was just being a real pain, wasn't he? He's definitely an absolute nuisance, but he played it so well. So we're not too sure what's going on. I'm assuming that it was just going to be the end of the series anyway, and dramis has taken that 3-0.
It looks like it. I'd imagine that would probably be the case there to round out that series. Obviously, overall, dramis did pretty much dominate in that one. It was looking like it was going his way. With the way he was playing, you'd think most likely that it would have gone in his favour, Harry. But that is going to be our game rounded out there, I believe. Moving on from this, of course, after the break, when we come back in, we're going to have Awoken from Team Endpoint facing off versus Sparty. A classic matchup with two old school Quake legends in their own right. You won't want to miss it when we return to kick off that fourth series of the night after the break.